When Mickey Rourke made his much-anticipated debut on Celebrity Big Brother, fans were not expecting what they saw. The legendary actor, once known for his rugged charm and brooding good looks, entered the house with a look so drastically different that social media was instantly ablaze. But it wasn't just the shocking transformation that caught viewers' attention. It was the uncanny resemblance that many claimed he now bore to fellow Hollywood actor Johnny Depp. Within minutes of Rourke's appearance airing, fans took to platforms like Twitter and Reddit to share their astonishment, and in many cases their confusion, sparking a firestorm of commentary that would dominate the entertainment world for days. As the camera panned across the newly arrived housemates, Mickey, Rourke's face immediately became a focal point. His skin appeared unnaturally tight, his complexion unusually smooth and glossy, and his signature expression, a combination of intensity and detached cool, was now oddly fixed. Viewers began to speculate wildly, some suggesting that he had undergone recent cosmetic procedures, while others believed it could have been a combination of lighting, makeup, and the high-definition cameras capturing every angle. However, it wasn't long before the comparisons to Johnny Depp began to pour in, with many fans humorously and at times brutally pointing out the similarities in their facial structure, hairstyle, and eccentric fashion choices. "Is that Mickey? Rourke or a wax figure of Johnny Depp after a rough night?" one viewer tweeted, while another quipped, "I swear Mickey Rourke is doing a Johnny Depp cosplay and it's spiraling fast." The internet was relentless. Memes began circulating that morphed Rourke and Depp's faces together, adding fuel to the discussion. Despite the jab-laden commentary, some fans expressed genuine concern about Rourke's well-being, wondering if the transformation was a result of health issues, aging, or the pressures of maintaining a Hollywood image. His chaotic debut on the show only magnified the spectacle. Rourke entered the house with a mysterious energy, wearing dark sunglasses and draped in layers of scarves and leather, fashion choices long associated with Depp's eclectic and iconic wardrobe. Rourke's behavior inside the house further stirred the pot. His mannerisms were erratic, his interactions with fellow cast members at times bizarre, and his aloof demeanor made it difficult for the audience to connect with him. In a scene that quickly went viral, Rourke was seen mumbling to himself while intensely studying the decor of the house, completely ignoring a co-star who was trying to strike up a conversation. The moment was widely shared with captions like Mickey Rourke auditioning for the role of Johnny Depp stuck in a Tim Burton film, and "He's not in Celebrity Big Brother, he's in his own gothic noir movie." Fans and critics alike noted that it seemed as if Rourke was living in a different reality, one where the lines between his own identity and a cinematic persona had blurred. For longtime followers of Rourke's career, the comparisons carried a certain weight. Mickey Rourke was once hailed as one of the most promising actors of his generation. With breakout roles in films like Diner, 912 Weeks, and Angel Heart, he carved out a reputation as a raw, magnetic performer who brought intensity to every role. However, his career took a dramatic turn in the 1990s when he walked away from Hollywood to pursue professional boxing. The decision left him with lasting injuries, including facial trauma that later led to multiple reconstructive surgeries. Rourke has been candid about these surgeries, admitting that much of the work was done to correct damage, though some fans believe his appearance has also been altered by elective cosmetic enhancements over the years. In contrast, Johnny Depp's evolution in the public eye has been more centered on fashion and persona rather than physical transformation. Depp has long been known for his ever-changing style, heavily influenced by bohemian aesthetics, rock and roll culture, and vintage Hollywood. He often appears with long, tousled hair, tinted sunglasses, layers of jewelry, and the kind of aged, distressed clothing that suggests a life lived on the edge of art and chaos. This distinct, almost theatrical appearance has become his signature, a uniform of rebellion, mystery, and nonconformity. When viewers saw Rourke debut in an almost identical getup, dark sunglasses indoors, a wide-brimmed hat, flowing scarves, silver rings stacked across his fingers, and distressed leather jackets, it was almost impossible not to make the comparison. The likeness extended beyond clothes. There was a specific energy, a haunted stillness, a kind of deliberate detachment in his gaze that evoked Depp's well-known, aloof, enigmatic screen presence. For some viewers, it felt like Rourke was purposefully channeling Depp's current aesthetic, perhaps as a way to remain culturally relevant. For others, it seemed accidental but eerie, like two stars weathered by the same storm, their identities slowly blending under the strain of public scrutiny and personal trauma. What deepened the debate was the realization that both Rourke and Depp have become enduring symbols of Hollywood's dark glamour, charismatic yet damaged men whose off-screen lives seem to echo the brooding, troubled characters they often played. Their reputations were built not only on their acting talent, but on their defiance of industry norms and their ability to stir fascination and controversy in equal measure. Both have courted chaos. Depp's recent legal battles with ex-wife Amber, heard played out like a real-life courtroom drama, drawing millions of viewers, igniting fierce public opinion, and laying bare the most intimate, painful details of his personal life. Meanwhile, Rourke has long been known for his brutally honest interviews, unpredictable red carpet appearances, and willingness to publicly lash out at Hollywood executives, critics, and former collaborators. Fans noted the parallel paths both men have walked: meteoric rises, self-imposed exiles, dramatic comebacks, and the lingering shadows of the past that never quite disappeared. Speculation grew that perhaps Rourke, consciously or subconsciously, had adopted a persona that mirrored Depp's, one of mystery cloaked in eccentricity, of solitude masked with flair. It raised the question of whether this was an act of survival in a brutal industry that rarely offers second chances, or simply the natural progression of an actor whose life, much like his roles, was defined by drama, reinvention, and emotional extremes. Rourke's choice to present himself in this way during his Celebrity Big Brother's appearance may have been a calculated move, a way to both intrigue and shield, to lean into a well-worn archetype that audiences already recognized and connected with. Or perhaps it was less intentional than that. Maybe he and Depp, both weathered by fame, heartbreak, and the disorienting blur of public life, simply evolved in similar directions. Yet behind all the commentary, beneath the memes and brutal jokes, there was an undercurrent of sadness and reflection. Some viewers expressed discomfort at the level of mockery aimed at Rourke's appearance. "We need to stop mocking older actors for aging or trying to hold on to their identity," one fan wrote on Instagram. "Mickey Rourke is a legend. Yes, his look has changed, but he's been through a lot. The guy is a survivor." There was a growing recognition that ageism in Hollywood remains pervasive and unforgiving, particularly for men who refuse to conform to sanitized images of masculinity. Rourke's face, altered by years of physical trauma, surgeries, and perhaps the pressures of fame itself, became a canvas on which society projected its own fears about aging, relevance, and authenticity. To some, his taut complexion was not a vanity project, but a symptom of a deeper struggle, one fought in private, away from the spotlight. Others pointed out that the obsession with Rourke's appearance and the Depp comparisons were indicative of a larger issue: the way society fetishizes celebrity evolution. It's no longer enough for stars to act; they must transform, perform, and keep the audience engaged with every visual shift. The virality of Rourke's entrance proved that celebrity image still holds immense power, and that fans, for better or worse, are deeply invested in the physical and symbolic metamorphoses of those in the limelight. Still, for Rourke, the spotlight inside the Celebrity Big Brother house remained relentless. His every movement was dissected, his every look analyzed. His presence was both captivating and unsettling, a constant reminder that behind the glitz and spectacle of reality television, there exists a very real human being, complex, flawed, and searching for connection. As the days passed inside the Celebrity Big Brother house, Rourke's presence continued to be a magnet for fascination. He seldom engaged in small talk, often choosing to observe from the periphery or speak only when he had something cryptic to share. His interactions remained sporadic, often punctuated by long silences, dramatic gestures, or sudden bursts of poetic musings. At one point, he was seen seated alone at the kitchen counter, twirling a spoon in his coffee and muttering about the ghosts of forgotten actors and the hollow glint of studio lights. These kinds of moments blurred the line between reality TV and experimental performance art, and fans couldn't help but wonder if Rourke was deliberately crafting an enigmatic image or simply lost in his own inner monologue. In one particularly theatrical episode, he reportedly lectured a fellow contestant about the soul of cinema, holding a glass of red wine and pacing back and forth like a tortured auteur. The scene, unintentionally or not, felt like something out of a surrealist film, reinforcing the idea that Rourke wasn't just participating in the show, he was reinventing it in his own fractured image. Meanwhile, online speculation about his resemblance to Depp morphed into a broader cultural discussion about identity, performance, and the dangers of fame. Commentators noted how easily celebrity personas can become masks, how actors who have lived in the public eye for decades often lose the ability to separate their real selves from the roles they play. For Rourke, who has spent years walking the tightrope between reinvention and reintegration, his appearance on Celebrity Big Brother felt like a surreal extension of his lifelong performance. It was less about winning a reality show and more about making a statement, or perhaps simply being seen in whatever form he chose to present. The Depp comparisons, while at times superficial or mocking, also underscored how audiences process familiar archetypes. In Rourke's mysterious silence, dramatic fashion, and unpredictable energy, they saw a mirror of another tortured artist they've long followed. The conversation was no longer just about Mickey Rourke, it had become a meditation on identity, the cost of reinvention, and the fragile, fascinating spectacle of celebrity unraveling in real time. Despite the chaos, Rourke's participation brought a unique layer to the show. Love him or loathe him, no one could deny his impact. The producers capitalized on the controversy, airing extended scenes of his most bizarre moments and encouraging castmates to draw him into conversations, though often unsuccessfully. Other contestants tiptoed around him, unsure whether he was playing a part or simply being himself. One housemate confided during a diary room segment, "It's like living with a method actor who forgot the script. He's fascinating but kind of terrifying." As the season progressed, viewers began to see flashes of the old Mickey Rourke, the one who once captivated audiences with raw, emotional performances. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Rourke opened up to a fellow contestant about his struggles. In Hollywood, his regrets and how fame had become more of a burden than a blessing. He spoke candidly about loneliness, betrayal, and how the industry had chewed him up and spit him out. That segment aired to a different tone online. Suddenly, the mocking tweets gave way to admiration. People began to see past the taut complexion and the Depp comparisons. They saw a man who had lived through enormous highs and devastating lows, someone who bore the physical and emotional scars of a life spent on the edge. Still, the internet never forgets. Even as the conversation shifted, screenshots and memes of Rourke's debut continued to circulate across social media platforms. His appearance became a viral sensation, a cultural touchstone that people couldn't seem to let go of. The nickname Depp 2.0 stuck in certain circles, with some fans playfully exaggerating the resemblance and others questioning whether the likeness was coincidental or part of a calculated attempt at reinvention. The comparison, initially sparked by a few eagle-eyed observers, took on a life of its own, evolving from a casual joke to a defining narrative of Rourke's appearance on the show. Some fans even theorized that Rourke, ever the rebel, was using the chaos to his advantage, deliberately cultivating the comparison to stir controversy, generate buzz, and ensure his presence stayed top of mind in the crowded world of reality. Television and celebrity gossip, if that was the strategy, it certainly worked. Rourke's name trended on Twitter for days, and Celebrity Big Brother saw a noticeable spike in viewership during his first week in the house. His chaotic debut had managed to draw attention to a show that, in many ways, relies on exactly that kind of spectacle to maintain relevance. Rourke's chaotic entrance and its aftermath offer a compelling case study in modern celebrity culture. How quickly narratives form, how social media magnifies even the smallest detail, and how the public both idolizes and vilifies those in the spotlight. It highlighted the ways in which the internet has transformed the speed and scope of fame. The Depp comparison, which might have been nothing more than an offhand remark in the past, was now being dissected, memed, and turned into a viral phenomenon. The moment captured something deeper about how we process the passage of time through the faces of the famous. Mickey Rourke didn't just walk into a reality show, he stumbled into a cultural flashpoint where his every move was being analyzed, discussed and dissected by millions of people. Whether or not the resemblance to Johnny Depp was intentional, exaggerated, or completely imagined by fans, it sparked a larger dialogue that went far beyond surface appearances. It served as a reminder of the thin line between reinvention and self-parody, between aging gracefully and fighting to stay relevant, between performance and reality. The deep public fascination with Rourke's appearance was not just about how he looked, it was about what his look represented in the broader cultural context. The dialogue surrounding his persona was a reflection of the ways in which celebrity culture can distort identity and blur the lines between the personal and the performative. For many viewers, the discussion became less about the man himself, and more about the idea of transformation, how stars evolve, how they are both products of their own reinvention and prisoners of the expectations others place upon them. In a world where everything is dissected frame by frame, Mickey Rourke's face, taut, enigmatic, and endlessly debated, became the symbol of a larger truth, that in the end, celebrity is as much about perception as it is about reality. And sometimes it's hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. The line between the actor and the role they play becomes increasingly difficult to distinguish, especially when it comes to icons like Rourke and Depp, whose personal lives often blur with their public personas. The entire spectacle raised uncomfortable, yet compelling questions about the nature of fame, self-image, and identity in an age where everything, from a celebrity's appearance to their behavior, is scrutinized in real time.